stream on YouTube at the same time. So hopefully when the time we're done with class, um, the rough upload will be available for anyone who wants to rewatch class. So, okay, just want to make sure that everything's visible. Da 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 da. There we go. Oh, bless you, Nicole. Had dental surgery. She's off camera, but here. So we're gonna send Nicole some healing thoughts today because she is my moderator extraordinaire. Sorry, I just realized that was a direct message, Nicole. I apologize. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll, even though I'm having a really funky hair day today. My hair's funky all the time, right? So, welcome everybody to today's class. Clearing obstacles and blocks, healing obstacles and blocks. When the universe kind of hits us at its full might, the first thing to do is to realize it's not happening because of mistakes that you've made. And I don't know how many times that you guys have gone into this, like, when something crappy happens to me, I must have done something wrong. I must be a bad person. It must be my karma. I actually went into this very recently because things were just a little bit upside down for a couple months in my life. And I went to my friend who's also an energy healer and a medical intuitive and all that fun stuff. And I was like, am I being punished? Am I doing something wrong? And she goes, maybe it's for your learning. Maybe this is for your knowledge and your wisdom and your growth. And I was like, maybe, although it's very unpleasant, right? Very unpleasant. And there's so many times that, we have obstacles or blocks that appear in our life and we want to push through them. I remember I had a client who was just on this massive upswing of healing, and she'd done a lot of powerful work and her life had shifted and she was killing it. And then all of a sudden everything just stagnated and flatlined, and she's like, what happened? I was doing so good. And I had to remind her that sometimes we need a break. We need a break from the push forward. We need a break from the healing. And so sometimes things that feel like an obstacle or a block are your body or your subconscious saying, hey, it's just time to rest. And think about it this way. If you go and have a surgery or if you're sick, you do a lot of resting to recover, right? You spend time in bed, you put your feet up. You're not like running around going to the gym powerlifting when you're trying to heal, right? And so even when you're at the gym, and obviously, like, I go there a lot as a curvy girl, that when you work out, you do your workout and then your muscles are sore and, you need a period of rest. You can't work out all day, every day, right? And I'm obviously not an expert in working out, but we need the breaks. And so sometimes things that look like obstacles or blocks to us is just God, creator, the universe, our body saying, hey, I just need a break. I just need a respite, right? And so we're going to kind of continue talking about and kind of going through potential obstacles. And then we're going to talk about how do we clear them? How do we heal them, right? So if your body is just in a resting phase, then how you heal, the fastest way to do that is just to rest. Just to take your breaks, to do some self-care, to nurture yourself. Sometimes when your healing journey or your spiritual progression is at a standstill, other things come in. Fear and forgiveness are big things that can block us. I talk about often how the first time someone told me I needed to forgive someone, and this goes for forgiving yourself as well, I was like, no, you don't understand. They hurt me. They broke it. They need to fix it. And I honestly, guys, still struggle with forgiving people. There are still some people in my life that I refuse to give forgiveness to because they caused harm to someone that they shouldn't have. And so I'm still even working on that myself. But when we don't forgive, they say it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But I equate it to giving someone the keys to your car, the person who hurt you most, and saying, here's the keys to my brand new car. In fact, here's a keychain. Here's my keys. I want you to take my car. I'm going to sit in the back seat and you drive me wherever you want to go. And I don't know about you guys. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we typically don't want the people who hurt us, the people who've caused us damage, driving our car or in charge of our healing, right? So if you feel stuck in your process, ask yourself, is there someone I need to forgive? Is there some fear that I need to do? Is there some release? Sometimes it's self-awareness, because the way that I see things, when I work with a client, we have our conscious level, subconscious level, and our soul higher self, right? And so in that middle is that subconscious, and that subconscious's job is to keep you safe, happy, and comfortable, even if where you're at is not safe. It's not exactly happy or comfortable, but it's where you're used to being. And subconscious is like, it's easy to stay here. It's easy to stay in your own misery, right? It's my job to keep you safe, right? And so sometimes your subconscious has slipped into survival or fight or flight. And this is something that's come up so much lately, even for myself. A lot of people are like, why haven't I healed? I've done the chakra work, I'm exercising, I'm dieting, I'm taking supplements and medications, and nothing is really moving forward. And I ask them, you know, are we still in fight or flight? And I will ask the subconscious, and I have yet now, and this is not a, absolute, but I have yet to have a subconscious when I ask the question, are you in fight or flight? The subconsciouses are all saying yes. And what I've been told by spirit is, if we're stuck in fight or flight, we're not healing. Think about it this way. If you had a town and the town was being attacked by another town, and that was like bombing raids and wars, and they were attacking each other, would the people of the town have any time to bake a wedding cake, paint a picture? Would they feel like singing a song? No. They would be like, I need to hunker down, I need to hide, I need to, like, we go into basic survival instinct and mode. And so whatever caused you to put you into fight or flight is going to keep you there. And sometimes we're kept there because of lack of forgiveness. Sometimes there's no need of forgiveness, but there's just need of healing and release, cord cutting, disconnection. But as long as you're in fight or flight, healing is going to be an uphill battle. Now, healing is always a little bit of an uphill battle, but it's going to be a lot harder if we're in fight or flight, right? So creating awareness, realizing what's happening. Do you have an elevated heart rate? Did you have muscle tension? Because your symptom might be like, oh my gosh, my shoulder's out, right? I have a shoulder injury. But the shoulder injury is a symptom of something greater. The shoulder injury shows lack of support. It shows a lot of stress and burdens that you're carrying, right? It shows that your body is, I'm responsible for taking care of everything. So what happens energetically and spiritually, we create an energetic spiritual weakness. And that spirit, the higher self, the soul, whatever you want to call it, tells the body what to do. And then all of a sudden, there's a blockage. And the shoulder gets tense, and the body tightens up, and it goes, I don't know really what to do with myself anymore, and I'm just going to break. I got to get rid of this energy. And then we start getting injured and things like that. So much fear in fight or flight can affect the body. And even when there's really no danger present. And I will actually tell you a story that sometimes it's not even your own fear. I had a client, amazing woman, who came in, and she is like this Zen master, Reiki master, like just beautiful spiritual person, like all in her spiritual stuff. And I mean, just like I looked up to her, and she goes, I have adrenal issues. And I'm like, well, adrenal is a fight or flight, but you're this Zen master yoga. And we're both like, what? You shouldn't be like this. Like, you meditate every day. You do all of this stuff. There's no way you should be there. So I go in and I'm chatting with her body and her subconscious, and it goes, I'm Jewish, And I was like, well, what does that have to do with healing? And, and then it showed me this picture of a woman running through a forest. And so I told the client what I saw, and she goes, "Oh my God, that was my grandma. She had been running from the Nazis in Germany, and she hid in a forest for 2 months." And I said, "Now we figured out where your fight or flights come from. Not even yours. It's your grandma's." And this is a rabbit hole of epigenetics that you can go into, where there are actually studies that have shown that we pass these emotions and tendencies on over and over again. Scientific studies, go look into them. I'm not going to go too deep in there. If you want to learn more about that stuff, just research it. Dr. Joe Dispenza has some amazing books that you can read. But just know that sometimes that fight or flight response isn't even yours, right? Um, Sometimes we assume that we're stuck, right? Um, and sometimes that stuckness feels permanent. We're like, I'm stuck. I'm never going to get out of this. I can't figure this out. I give up. I actually even personally did this recently, because with my weight loss journey, I had lost a bunch of weight, then I gained it back, and it seemed like it was all stuck. And I was like, you know what? I'm stuck. I give up. Whatever. I'm done. And kind of started going into this downward spiral. You know, this is too hard. I can't do this. Screw it. Whatever. I'm going to just eat what I want. Right. And it was funny that my weight didn't change even with eating what I wanted. And I was talking to my husband about this actually a couple of days ago, and I said, you know what? The fact that I've been eating like absolute garbage for the past few months and my weight hasn't changed a single bit for me eating healthy tells me that there's a lot of spiritual work and a lot of like self-sabotage and brain stuff going on. So sometimes we get stuck within our own selves, and we go into these spiral thoughts of giving up. So you can ask yourself, am I stuck because I gave up? Because there's a belief system that it's too hard. Um, Another reason why we can get stuck is we try to be the best at healing. You know, we take all the courses, do the yoga, we drink all the smoothies and the green juice and the celery juice all day, and take all the vitamins and the supplement. We go into perfectionism, and we get into the I'll never get better unless I do this just right. I'll always be sick unless I do just this. And we go into an extremes or exaggerations with healing. And really, we need to go in with that inner critic and that inner perfectionist and rephrase thoughts. And so when you start getting thoughts that are controlling your outcomes, you know, you have to go in and say, in the past, I felt like this is true, but I understand this is no longer true, that that's a myth or whatever it is. We're shifting it. So like for me, and we have a couple people that were probably even in this class, we were doing a body scan class, and I said, okay, I'm going to scan myself and kind of show you guys how this works. And I scanned myself and I said, where is my fear that's connecting with food? And my body was like, oh, you're afraid of ice cream. You're afraid that ice cream will kill you. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay, this is going to be interesting because, you know, ice cream can't really kill you. I mean, unless you're diabetic, then it could be problematic. But there was a great fear of ice cream. And so I went deeper with this and deeper, and I realized I had grown up with a dad who, well meaning, but would constantly tell us how bad certain foods were for us, how sugar was like, you know, drugs and it was addictive and that we should never touch it, that sugar would kill us. And so I ingrained that within my body. And I accepted that as a fact that sugar is always bad. But in reality, your brain needs sugar to function. Sugar is not always bad. You know, too much of anything is bad though. So we go in and I rephrased that whole thing. We did a whole thing where I found a positive memory around ice cream and rephrased it and went back in. So there's the always, the never, the inner critics can keep you stuck, right? Self-care is another big one. And I know this sounds redundant, right? I actually suck at self-care. I mean, I have 7 kids and I work with clients all day. Do I spend a lot of time taking care of myself? No. I would rather take care of everyone else around me. It's too hard to take care of myself. It's weird. I actually, for a long time, would only purchase one pair of shoes for myself every year, and that's it. I was only allowed to have one pair of Birkenstocks. I can proudly say I'm now up to 3. Uh, but I would allow myself one pair of shoes every year because anything more was selfish. Because my kids needed things, my husband needed things, my needs were last. Kind of effed up. I actually remember once I had bought myself, I don't know if you guys remember what these are. The Bissell comes out with this floor mopper vacuum where it'll vacuum and mop your floors at the same time. And we needed some money. We were kind of broke. My kids had a football camp they needed to go to, and I didn't have money to pay for the football camp. But if I didn't pay for the football camp, the coach wouldn't let my son play football that fall. He would basically bench him. And so I took that vacuum and I returned it. It was nearly new. Took it back to Costco, got my money back, and paid for my son's thing. That vacuum was not just a vacuum to me, it was a form of self care. With 7 kids, it made cleaning up very easy for me, sweep and mop at the same time. It's a really fantastic product. I'm super in love with it. But to my detriment, I said, well, I have to put their needs first. And sometimes, as parents and mothers, we have to do that stuff, you know. But I remember how bad I felt because I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me forever to sweep and mop and clean up now. And it was devastating to me, right? And I didn't get another one for years and years and years, like probably 5 or 6 years. Um, but I had kind of allowed myself um, to put myself last, you know, and that might sound like an extravagant thing for people, but for me, it was a necessity. Healing time, you know, do you take time to take walks, to ground, to meditate, to journal? Do you always put yourself last on that list, or do you put yourself first? You know, for me, what is my highest good is to do that first thing in the morning. And so on my calendar every morning, it says yoga, qigong, and meditation time. And I will do one of those 3 things every morning before my clients. In the evening, when I'm done with my clients, tonight at 7 p.m. will be no exception. 7 p.m. between 7 and 8 is mom's time. And at mom's time, I take my cleansing saltwater bath. I cleanse my energy. Sometimes I read a book in the tub. That's my time. And everybody knows, do not bother mom unless the house is on fire. Now, I'm blessed. My husband will watch the kids, and my kids are old enough to manage me taking a bath for an hour. I remember when they were younger, I tried to take a bath and I'd have them all in the bathroom throwing toys in the tub. And I remember trying to go to the toilet and little fingers would be shoving under the door waiting for me. So there's sometimes that things are not always possible, but you can involve, even if you have children, young children, with your self-care. Like for me, I'm like, it's yoga time. And I even still do this today. It's yoga time. Who wants to do yoga with mom? Go get, and then we get the big beach towels out because we don't have enough yoga mats for everyone. So we just lay out big beach towels and we do yoga together. And typically it will be my 14 and 10-year-old that'll do it with me, but sometimes my husband and my 17-year-old will join in. And so it's like, that's me time, but I'm also teaching them good self-care as well. So look at how you can either schedule healing time in advance and protect that time. Keep it sacred for you. And yes, things come up, but try to keep that within your schedule. Give yourself space, even if it's 20 minutes or a half hour today. Just give yourself stuff. The other thing that comes up a lot with clients is I'll bring up stuff, I'll be scanning a client, and they'll be like, I thought I healed that. I've been doing that work forever. I fixed that, you know? And they forget that there's layers of self that fixing, right? And sometimes we look back at our life and we're like, yeah, I had a decent life. I had it better than most. There's nothing I really need to worry about. And you don't really think that there's stuff to heal. I actually did this myself. I was like, Yeah, I don't really remember much of my childhood. Yeah, it was rough, but I'm sure other people had it worse than me. And I'm fine. I'll just focus on healing other people. Come to find out, I had a lot of hidden trauma. um, sometimes there's people like my husband who grew up with very loving parents and a very loving family where everyone is doing their best. Um, but there's still things that impact us. And I think it's important to remember that your environment, your relationships, your family can impact your body and your pain patterns and things like that. And so what may have seen like someone like me who has significant childhood trauma may, something may have happened to you and it seems very insignificant in comparison to something I've experienced, but it may have been significant to you. A great example of this is I had a client who had a pretty good childhood, um, but there was an instance where I think she was at a 4th of July parade and someone ran over her with a bicycle. And that was really traumatic to her. She wasn't seriously injured, but the whole experience impacted her and stayed with her. Another client, I was reading her, and her soul was showing the patterns of a murder trauma and indicating that she had witnessed a murder. And I was like, oh my God, girl, what's going on with you? And I was telling her, I was like, your body's indicating that you've witnessed a murder. And she was like, nah, I never. No, my life's fine. Never, never, ever. And I was like, okay, let's take this deeper. And the body was showing it was like around 16 or 17. And I started describing what I saw. And she goes, no, that was a movie I watched. And I was like, a movie? And I confirmed it with the body. The body held on to a movie she watched as if she had experienced it herself. And so, we can have, and I talk about this often, you can have 3 people in a car and get into a car accident, and they will all experience that same car accident differently. One person will go, whew, that wasn't so bad. I'm glad everybody's okay. Another person's gonna go, oh my God, that was the worst thing in the world. And another person's gonna go, that was rough, but I think I'll be okay. And in a week or two, they'll be fine. But that one person that goes, oh my God, they're gonna hold on to that for a really long time if they don't do processing, right? So 3 people experiencing the same experience, maybe it was just a minor fender bender, but one person's life flashed before their eyes, while the other people are like, yeah, it sucked, but it wasn't that bad, right? So how you experience and the emotions that it triggers within you. And so all of these things come together in the obstacles and blocks in our lives. And so if we have these things hanging around and we're trying to heal, the subconscious, its job is to keep your soul safe, to keep your body safe. And so keeping you safe is its job. And it's like, well, you might be okay now, but remember that time when you were 12? You weren't okay then. So we're just going to stay in fight or flight. We're just going to keep you stuck. We're going to make it hard. But sometimes the reason why we're stuck is the indication of what we need to heal, right? So I want to say this again because the triggers, the stuck, the reasons why we're stuck are indications of what we want to heal. And addressing the emotional and physical symptoms is going to bring that improvement. And so that's the real healing opportunity for us, is saying, oh, haha, I feel anxiety every time I want to go drive. And here's a story for me. I feel anxiety every time I go driving in the mountains with my husband. I love being in the mountains, but why do I feel anxiety? Well, when I was 6 years old, my dad thought it was really funny to tease us and say, we're going to drive off the cliff as we're driving up a mountain. He was teasing. But my dad is a little eccentric and traumatized me. So my fear and anxiety of driving up holds on to that for me. And so that shows I need to go back to that childhood experience and heal it. Okay. And so, as we go through healing and we hear people's stories of healing and they're like, oh, it was amazing. I took this Reiki class and all of a sudden like everything in my life is better. Or I had a spiritual awakening and it was so powerful and I'm just doing amazing, right? I was healed instantly. I've never, I've never, like, I just decided to quit smoking, and all of a sudden I'm not tempted anymore to quit to smoke again. It was just easy, poof, like that, right? Simple, easy, done, right? People are like, yeah, my depression went away so fast. Why isn't it easy for you? Um, and everyone has like these happy ending stories, right? Of like, well, I had this horrible challenge or this stuckness or this block in my life, but you know what? I fixed it. It was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Why isn't this so easy for you? Why are you so blocked with your healing? Why are you struggling with your healing? And we get into this comparison of comparing ourselves to other people's healings, because the healing stories can definitely inspire us and they give us hope, and hope is amazing, right? It's helping us heal, but it also can trigger those intrusive thoughts of like, well, why am I still struggling? Well, I've done so many things to heal. Why is this not here yet? I've done my best, but I can't forgive the person who's hurt me. Or sometimes we just go into self-sabotage and say, at this point, I'm just giving up. I'm never going to fix this. I'm never going to get the outcome I desire. And um, our minds and our subconscious try to convince us of something that is not true, which is that I'll never heal, that I'll never move forward, that I'll never progress. But here's the thing, and I talk about this all the time: you can heal, we can heal, we all can heal. Your body is designed to self heal. And this is one thing I say all the time. If you've ever had a cut or a broken bone and your body has healed, that is evidence that you know how to heal. You have the power within you to heal. And that's incredible and amazing. And sometimes we forget that we have that. We forget that there's this beautiful power that resides within us that will help us heal. And we get stuck. And we get stuck in the patterns, we get stuck in the beliefs, and we get stuck and stuck and stuck. And then we forget that healing is a journey. That sometimes we go up a path and we're like, this is my path to healing. And it doesn't work. And we're like, oh, shit, it didn't heal. But sometimes you have to go up that wrong path and come back down it to say, okay, that was not the path for me, but I'm going to try another one. And sometimes you're going to go up and down many paths until you get on the right one. And that's okay too, because every path is part of the journey and part of the learning experience and part of the knowledge. After my spiritual awakening, I was like, oh, this is it. I'm going to be this amazing Zen master guru. It's going to be awesome. Like, no, it was horrible. And, up and down and sideways. And I was like, well, I'm going to be a Reiki master. And I studied Reiki. And I'm going to be a life coach. And I got certified in life coach. That didn't work. Okay, let's do pranic healing. I'll get certified in that. And then I got to that point where I was like, I give up. It's too hard. Everything's blocked. I can't figure this out. There's too many obstacles. I know. I'm going to start a book publishing company with my friend from high school. That didn't work out either. And then I get left in this heap on the floor. And that heap on the floor to me is my favorite place to be, where we're at the bottom. When we surrender to the universe, when we start listening to the universe, and instead of trying to do it the way we think we should, we start listening to our intuition and the spiritual guidance that's coming through. Then we start noticing things and we surrender. And that point of surrender, I've only done it twice in my whole life, but it's brought me forth to amazing things. And that surrender says, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Show me my path, because otherwise I'm just done. And we surrender and we allow God, creator of the universe, to say, here's your path, and then you follow. And that is the way that you're going to navigate a lot of these blocks and a lot of these obstacles, is through surrender. And I can tell you, I wish sometimes I was smart enough to go, I surrender, but more often than not, I have to get to the very bottom of my barrel before I'll surrender. And why? Because sometimes things have to get hard enough for us to decide to change. And my dad always says, until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll continue to do things the same way. And for whatever reason, we as human beings sometimes have to be knocked upside the head 52 times before we're like, oh, haha, right? And some of us just never want to move to healing and get stuck, But my hopes is that you don't get stuck, and that you're allowing yourself to ebb and flow with the ups and downs, And whether you're trying to heal unwanted habits, addictions, spiritual awakening, traumas, that you remember that healing often involves changing ingrained habits, generational beliefs, energetic patterns, sometimes from like hundreds of years past, where people you're like, I don't even know who they are, but they passed something through my genome to me. And it takes time to shift how we believe and how we respond, how we're triggered. It all takes time. I still get triggered. But now, instead of being triggered and going into chaos and be like, I don't know what to do, I go, okay, I'm triggered. I feel overwhelmed. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to express. I'm going to process. So, like yesterday, I was very overwhelmed, had a lot of triggering going on. And I went to my husband. I'm like, I need help. I need support. I'm very triggered right now. I feel anxiety. And he was like, lay down. Let's do some acupuncture. Let's help relieve this. And so you might still get triggered for a while as you heal. Eventually, you'll get to the point where you won't. And you'll be like, ah, it's so amazing. I'm so cool. But when you are, don't be like, oh, I'm blocked. I have obstacles. I still have a trigger. No, you're human. We're meant to experience all human emotions as this experience. So it really is just becoming more self aware and saying, oh, I have a trigger. Oh, I feel angry. Yeah, I feel frustrated. I feel like flipping that person off. Okay, let's process the emotions. And as long as we don't allow the quote unquote negative emotions to dictate our path or to make us do things that are hurtful or harmful to ourselves or others, go with the flow. Allow yourself that moment of anger and processing. Um, Recognize the underlying issues in the unhealthy thought patterns and belief systems. And, like you might be like, money doesn't grow on trees. And then you're like, well, actually, money is made from paper and paper is from trees. So technically, money does grow on trees. And so that is a belief system. I remember when my mom told me that. So that's something I can release. That's something I can do some healing work around. And then you do some healing work. You journal around it. You meditate on it. You release it. And then you move forward. And what did you just do? You cleared an obstacle and a block. And so clearing obstacles and blocks often just looks like self-awareness. And sometimes you'll get stuck in your shit and you'll have a bad time, and then it'll take you a couple hours or days to go, oh, that's what it is. But you'll get better and better at it, and then eventually you're like, yeah, okay, I see an obstacle. Let me clear it. I gotta see a block. Let me clear that. Oh, I just need to rest. I'm gonna listen to my body. I'm gonna take a nap today. Cool. And you're gonna move forward and you're gonna be like, I am a freaking awesome badass healer. And I am just amazingly good at this. And then some days you're gonna go, I'm shit at this. And it's okay to have those days too. What is not okay is to stay in that shit moment, right? You can have your shit moments. You can feel stuck. You're allowed to do that. Just don't live in it. Don't stay there. Okay? And, we often don't anticipate that the path to healing and growth and spiritual awakening is full of difficult experiences and setbacks and mistakes and impatience and turbulence. It's not a straightforward path, and it's not always effortless, but that's okay. And the setbacks allow you to tune into your spiritual gifts, to connect to your higher power more, to rely on your inner wisdom more, to listen to your soul speaking to you. And if you want to learn more about speaking your soul's language, I got another free class coming up. Go check on the website. So when you're struggling and you're kind of in the depths of despair, I'm an Anne of Green Gables fan. I love Anne of Green Gables. And she's like, I'm in the depths of despair. Just kind of realize like, it's okay. I can pull myself out. I have endurance. I can put in the effort, and I have hope and faith. So practice self-compassion and just utilize every spiritual and practical tool you have in your toolkit. Reach out to friends and family. Awesome therapists are great for helping you move forward. And then tuning into yourself. And so just remember that you are capable of healing, and that the soul that resides in you is a soul of perfection, beauty, and eternal energy. And we are just kind of crammed in these imperfect human bodies right now, full of pain and experiences and traumas. But it's okay because, you know, inside you there's this beautiful light that can help you shift everything. And so, what I would love to do now is to kind of go into a healing meditation. Um, and I do have a couple questions from a Zoom commenter that says, do I meditate every time I have a blockage? No. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel blocked, and I'll just use some energy healing. So if you don't know Reiki or pranic healing, you might want to go take a Reiki 1 or pranic healing level 1 class, learn some self-healing techniques. I'll probably be teaching some more of those in the future, but not right now. So you just kind of, you know, like I'll just kind of sometimes clear myself. I'll kind of snap around, whatever my little methods are. Sometimes it takes more prayer meditation. Sometimes it's like weeks. Like I went through about a 3 or 4 week period lately, and it was like acupuncture, meditation, qigong, eating a lot more ice cream than I should, trying out different crystals, and you know, it's like layers for me. Like healing is like layers. How do you know if God is proud of us? Um, that's a good question. How do we know if God is proud of us? By taking and creating action that honors the divinity within us and within others. So, you know, no one is perfect, right? But if you honor yourself and honor and love those around you, remember we're all one. Then I always look at God like a loving parent. You know, sometimes God's like, "Oh shit, I told you not to do that. Ooh, watch out!" Right? You know, wear your helmet. Do this. You know, like I kind of see God doing that sometimes. Going, "Oh, I thought I taught you better," and then other times it's like, "Oh, good job. I'm so proud of you." You know, and so, but there's that unconditional love, right? That no matter what you do, right or wrong, that there's always unconditional love available to you, right? And so I think that that is the most important thing to remember, is that it's not about making someone proud of you, even God. It's about giving and receiving that unconditional love that is connected with it. That we are love, he is love, she is love, energy is love, the universe is love, and sharing that, right? Um, So, and a job well done embodies that love, perfect love. And are we perfect all the time? No. Do I get mad and, you know, silently curse under my breath when somebody cuts me off? Yes, I do. But you know what I do when I do that? I go into Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian forgiveness exercise. I love you. I forgive you. I'm sorry. Thank you for creating awareness in me. Thank you for helping me understand my path today. And I send them love and forgiveness. Thank you for being in my path. Because there's always people in your path and your awareness that are connected to you and your purpose. And so there's a reason somebody cut me off. Maybe I needed to drive slower. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I was overthinking something and God was trying to interrupt that thought. I don't know. It depends on the day and what's going on. So just pay attention to those things. But we are going to go into a little healing meditation now. I'm going to light, if I can find my matches or my lighter, a little bit of stuff for some smoke cleansing. We'll see, because I think my husband did take my lighter, actually. All right, so we're not going to do that. I'm just going to open my salt jar here for cleansing, because I think my husband took it when he barbecued yesterday. I should have checked before I started the call. Welcome to my chaos. So we're gonna go into a healing clearing meditation. We're gonna just go wherever spirit leads on this, because I feel that that's the most effective way to create healing and to create shifts, is not going into where we think we need to go, but asking spirit in our bodies, where do we need to take this healing? And I can tell you, I've done healing work with people and they're like, I'm like, okay, we're gonna work on healing your left toe. And they're like, but, you know, you said I had this imbalance. And I'm like, yeah, we just go this way. And we go, and at the end of the meditation, they're always like, oh, wow, okay, that was exactly what I needed. And so that's really what I like to do, is go exactly where we're needed versus where we think we need to go. If you haven't meditated with me before, we always start with 3 deep breaths. expanding your lungs, pushing out your stomach. I like to envision that we're breathing in pure white light. We pause for a second and then exhale out any old stagnant energy. Kind of envision what it looks like. Maybe it's brown or green or gray, and just kind of push that out. We're going to recenter. And then we're going to go into the meditation. If at any time it feels difficult or hard for you, just follow along the best you can. If you need to take a break, if it's overwhelming to you, you can take a break and move out of the meditation and come back and watch the recording later. It's up to you. Um, so kind of just keep that in mind as we go. Nicole says, I am looking forward to this. I always get more than you bargained for. Well, I guess that's good. We're getting more than we bargained for. So, and hopefully it's a good bargain. All right, guys, so I'm going to do this with you. If you're not used to deep breathing, it may be hard for you to hold your breath, so just do the best that you can. And we're going to get moving with this. So, okay, first deep breath in. Pause and exhale. Second deep breath in. Pause and exhale. Third deep breath in. And we're going to continue our deep breathing. We're going to focus in on the body, the mind, the soul. And we're going to start with recognition. Recognition of any sensations, any tingles, any emotions, feelings, thoughts, patterns that you're experiencing right now. We're just going to recognize them, no matter if it's happy, sad, angry, mad, joyful, ecstatic, frustrated, whatever it is. We're just going to recognize those things. We're not going to give them power or strength. We're just going to create awareness. Let's take a deep breath in. And with that breath out, we're going to exhale out all these emotions. I want you to gather them. I want you to put them in a jar. I want you to put a lid on that jar. And this is your jar of emotions for the day. And we're going to take it and we're going to set it aside on a table, on a chair, on a bookshelf. And we're going to create the awareness that this is a temporary place for these emotions. That for a temporary moment in time, we're going to set all these emotions aside. We're going to come back later and process them. We're going to come back later when it's time to find those emotions and give them the space they need. For now, we're in a safe space, a space of calm, a space of healing, a space of balance and peace. And I want you to kind of just sink into yourself a little bit more. I want you to create awareness with your body now, connecting you with your higher self. I want you to ask your higher self to show you what protection feels like in your body. What does safety feel like? Just notice the sensations, any pressure or tingling. This is what it feels like to feel safe, to feel protected, to feel supported. Ask the higher self to show you what feeling nurtured and loved feels like. How does that feel to your body, mind, and soul? What comes up the first time you feel that? Now I would like you to ask, what does healing feel like? if the answer is I don't know, that's all right as well. Just notice the sensations as you become a little more self-aware of your body. Now that we've created self-awareness, I'd like you to go on a journey with me. We're walking down a path, and this path is in a forest. It's a magical forest. It's green, blue skies with white puffy clouds, a creek flowing by. It is a perfect, safest place to walk. And as you walk down this path, feel the enjoyment and the peace that taking this walk takes you on. Feel the energy and the love that flows to you. And as you walk down the path, you realize that this is a narrow path, and that the only way for you to walk down this path is forward. But as you walk down this path, it starts to go up, and you cannot see what's at the top of that hill. And you feel worried about what's coming, but you release that worry. So take a deep breath in and speak to your body and say release, release, release. It's okay. This path is safe. As you walk up the hill, you get to the top and you notice there's a beautiful, beautiful view. And at the bottom of the hill, there's a beautiful meadow. And there's a place that you want to go to sit and meditate and relax. But as you look in front of you, the path is blocked. Fallen trees and large boulders prevent you from moving down your path. You cannot move forward with those blockages. How does that make you feel? I want you to go deep within your body, into your solar plexus, where your personal power, your gut instincts, and your emotional intuitiveness resides. Connecting intuitively, I want you to ask, what is the best path for me? Do I climb over the obstacles and keep moving? Maybe it might be as simple as waving your hand. The flick of the hand, like magic, the obstacles disappear. Maybe your body might call out to you and ask you to rest for a moment. Take a deep breath in. To understand and realize that all solutions are the correct solutions as long as you're not turning around or giving up. Feel the warmth of the weather around you, the gentle sun on your skin, the beautiful power and balance it gives you. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and release. Release the stress, release the worry, release the fear of not being able to move forward. Find the peace and the balance. And you turn around to look at that path again. You realize that the obstacles are gone, and that you're able to run down that hill like a little kid, feeling the wind in your hair as you excitedly run towards the meadow and the luscious grass, and there's fruit trees and flowers and birds. You move towards that place of rest and respite. As you look forward on the path, you know that you cannot see much further, that it seems dark and maybe a little scary. But I instill in you the knowledge and the wisdom to know that no matter what twist or turn your path makes, even if you cannot see very far down the path, that you have the power, the knowledge, and the wisdom, the intuition contained in your body to know the right direction, to know your path, to know your purpose. Take a deep breath in. I want you to send gratitude to your higher self, to your subconscious, to your body. Surround yourself. Beautiful pink healing light with love and peace and gratitude. We tell the body, mind, and soul, thank you. Thank you for the gifts that I have. Thank you for the power and the knowledge and the wisdom I have. Thank you for the new awareness I have created today, and for the new knowledge and wisdom that I will learn in the future. We send gratitude. We allow the body, mind, and soul to take a period of rest, of relaxation, of peace. And know that at any time you can restore and come back to this space, that you can surround yourself in that loving, beautiful bubble of light to take a respite and a break. And that whenever you move down this path again, that you have what it takes inside of you to remove, to go over, to go under, or through any blocks or obstacles that life throws at you. That when something or someone feels like it's blocking you, the only power that that person, place, or thing has over you is the power and permission you give it. So now I'll ask you to call back in your power. Call back in your power from all persons, places, things, from all obstacles, past, present, and future, that you have given your power to, that have made you feel powerless and incapable of healing and moving forward. We call back all our power with all our might, mind, strength, and soul. We restore and rebalance body, mind, and soul to its original intent and purpose. We root and ground ourselves deep to the earth, drawing upon Mother Earth's wisdom to guide us on our journeys. We send the connection up to God, Creator, to the universe, to download and bring us the knowledge we need to move forward. Take a deep breath in. And speak to your body, mind, and soul with love and gratitude. Say thank you. Thank you for the wisdom and healing you have received today. Thank you for what you will receive in the future. To all the ancients, the holy masters, to God, Creator of the universe, to Mother Earth, we are grateful. We give thanks for the knowledge, wisdom, and protection and healing we have received today. With gratitude, we say thank you. And so be it. Take one last deep breath in. And exhale out. Come back into awareness. Flex your body. Feel your fingers on your toes. Yawn if you need to, and come back into the room. All right. If you're wanting to, you're welcome to share your experiences in the comments. You're welcome to ask questions. Um, Hopefully that feels good for everyone and you feel balanced. Um, we did create some healing with this class, so you may feel tired, like you need to take a nap. You may need a drink of water. Honor your body, honor your soul of what you need. Honor yourself in the place that you are. Stay away from the news or anything that's energetically disruptive for a little bit. And just allow yourself to find some peace, grounding, and gratitude. If you're on the other side and you feel over energetic, go for a walk and release that excess energy. Um, Someone from Zoom says, any collective message for this group call? Let's ask. Let's ask Spirit for a message for us. The wisdom and knowledge is not always what it seems, but you have been equipped with what you need to complete your life path and journey. Sometimes you need to access that equipment. You need to learn how or where it's stored. Others will come along the path to help you. Sometimes you will feel alone, but you are not. You are never truly alone. Call out for healing and support to God and Creator of the universe when you need it. Call out to the plants and the trees and the animals and Mother Earth. They will guide and heal you. Call out for your healing and you will receive it. If you wish it, if you believe it, it will come to you. They are loved. So that is for you guys, that you are loved. Even when it doesn't feel like that you are loved. I love you, God loves you, the universe loves you, the plants love you, the animals love you, you are loved. Nicole said, I felt empowered when it came to the blocked road and being able to take a moment and sit on the log that was covering the path and reflect, and the path became clear. I love that. And so that is a great message too, that sometimes it's just a moment of pause and reflection so that you can see that clear path. And I will tell you, I know Nicole, I think, was in this class where I was scanning my own chakras. In fact, I'm actually a little more balanced today, but my right side of my third eye was completely closed. Why? I overthink the spiritual. I research too much instead of going within and asking my higher power and my higher self to show me my path. I'm like, like I actually yesterday this happened to me. I looked at my follower count on TikTok and it was 288,000.8. So it was like 888. I was like, oh, what's the spiritual meaning of 888? Instantly to Google. Instead of going instantly to Spirit and the universe saying, hey, tell me what this means, because this was in my awareness, so there must be a message to this. I went off and researched, right? And so that's a great reminder that take a moment, pause and reflect. When you don't know, this is actually something my dad taught me. He says, sometimes when you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Just pause and reflect. Take a deep breath. I had this happen yesterday. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I own a manufacturing company and I'm having an issue with a distributor. And I was trying to figure out what to do and I didn't know what to do and I was really frustrated. It was just overwhelming. And one of my friends reminded me, she goes, just pause and reflect. You don't have to do anything today. And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I just can sit there. Nicole says, I've been really trying to pause before making decisions. And sometimes you surprise yourself with the direction you go. Yeah, I think that pause and reflect is so powerful. Danny says, I wanted to climb my obstacles. I wanted the work so I would remember my journey. Yeah, and climbing those obstacles and powering through them is sometimes what you need, And every obstacle that presents itself to us will have a different path, will have a different outcome. And so what worked for one thing may not work for another thing. And so don't be frustrated if you're like, well, I tried this before and it worked and now it's not. And that's okay. That's okay. Try something else. I always say, if something's not working, try something else, right? Try something completely different from what you're doing. As long as you're not causing harm to yourself or others, give it a whirl. You know, all you can do is say, well, that didn't work. I guess I'll try something else, right? So just kind of remember that. Be gentle with yourself and your process as you move forward. Allow yourself those ups and downs. Um, that is awesome. Nicole says, obstacle equals opportunity. You will have other opportunities in the future. Let's see. Stell says, I feel so much healing and empowerment. I felt my energy coming back through your fingers. Thank you. Oh, that's so wonderful. You're welcome, everyone. And you guys are all very welcome. Because we were recording simultaneously to YouTube, as soon as YouTube processes, the recording will be up. It won't be a pretty edited version, but it'll be up. So you guys are welcome to go back to the Spirit Fluent, which you can see my username, all my social media is Spirit Fluent. Go back to the Spirit Fluent YouTube and you can watch it again. You can fast forward to the meditation part. I'll try to see if I have a volunteer who helps me with that video work. I'll try to see. I know she knows how to like timestamp the meditations. So if she has time or space, I'll see if she has some time to help with that. But if not, the meditation starts about halfway through the class, so you can just kind of fast forward through. So yeah, that will be up and available to you guys. I would say probably within 20 minutes. YouTube's pretty quick, but we'll see. Cross our fingers it gets up quickly. If there's any problems with it, I'll get that up before that. And then I will also be taking the class and putting it in my programs. And I'll be adding some journal pages, some PDFs, and things like that. So it's available for free, but if you want the support of the groups, if you want the support of other spiritual humans, myself, and you want journaling pages and PDFs, you can get into the membership program on my website, which you can access all of those extra materials and things that will be included with that. So let's see, Shell. Okay, that's just a comment there. So you made a practice of calling back your energy and feel great. Yeah. How do you know if you're meditating right? So this is the last question I'll answer because I'm kind of losing my voice. I had a lot of calls today. There's no right or wrong with meditation. That's the easy answer. I've talked about my first meditation experience before, but I'll bring it up again. I was in my life coach certifications because I'm a certified holistic life coach. I'm an ICF, International Coaching Federation certified life coach. And we were in that meditation. First time I meditated, we're all laying down, we're in this yoga studio. And all of a sudden I'm getting nudged by the coach with her foot. I was asleep, dead ass asleep, drool running down my mouth, snoring. And I was so embarrassed. I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, I can't meditate right then. My coach was like, no, that's what you needed. That's fine. If that's how you need to meditate, go ahead. Oftentimes for me, I'll put my headphones in and I'll fall asleep to a meditation. And that's how I meditate. Sometimes I'm driving down the car and I have prayer or meditation. Sometimes I do walking meditation. A lot of people think meditation's like, oh, perfect meditation, no thoughts in my head. That's not it. That's not it at all. It's just connecting with yourself, with the universe, allowing yourself to feel. If you have things that kind of burst in or like do your laundry, you'd be like, okay, I'll do that later. Release, refocus. It's really just a process of release and refocus. And if your release looks like taking a nap, then take a nap. If a refocus looks like, I'm refocusing my energy, that can be meditative as well. I find swimming meditative, just that monotonous, it's like a swimming meditation where I just kind of have this kind of clearing, cleansing prayer and I just swim in my pool. So meditation is what feels meditative for you. There's no right or wrong way to meditate. That's my opinion. You are welcome, Jessica. You're welcome. Everybody who came, thank you. I appreciate all of you for supporting me and participating. And there's always lots of classes available on my website, YouTube. We have a lot more coming up, and we have the Spirit Fluent SoundCloud, which I am adding meditations where it's just voice meditations that you guys can listen to as well. So there's lots of available resources if you guys are on a healing journey. The majority of them are free, so take advantage of those. And thank you, everyone, for being a part of the class today. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in a future class, I hope. So until then, have a beautiful night, my spiritual humans. I have so much love and appreciation for you and your support. Bye, everybody.